get the convict off the plane. Well, no, the plane's taken off. Wait a minute. Is he still on the wing? Holy mackerel, he is! The convict's hanging on the wing of the plane! So, imagine now, these barnstorming pilots got more surplus jennies, took them out to the Midwest and other rural areas where most people are sturdy, reliable, easy to fly, easy to get in and out of unimproved fields. America's completely original 1918 airplane in for a landing. Beautiful 3-point touchdown. I've been able to hear the wind whistling through the racing line. Through the years, we've gotten into 1917, 1918 when the Jenny was developed. As I said, it was a training plane, but now we're going to get into some of the fighter aircraft of World War I, which had started in 1919 in Europe. America didn't enter the war until the middle of 19. Pilot Rob Williams in the Bristol Fighter. Germans, on the other hand, used their black and white cross insignia. And there's the Fokker triplane, airborne. That you control the speed of this rotary engine is using the ignition. You can't adjust the throttle. You have to slow it down by cutting out some of the cylinders firing at the engine spin. Or you can cut off the ignition entirely using a button on the control stick. That's called flipping it. You take the throttle and control the speed by flipping it on and off. First, the full power run-up. Overhead, the Bristol Fighter and the triplane slugging it out, and now the Fokker E-5 is going to come up to assist his squadron mate flying the triplane. Right out the exhaust valve. So you'll see a thin stream of white smoke behind the airplane. That is of the spirit flying. Wow, what a great landing. Every time they access that original airplane, either on a cherry picker to clean it or to bring it down close to the floor so that they could work on it and preserve it, we were invited to come and take measurements and photograph. Underoos on today, and Cliff's going swimming, I assume, later on. I hope he doesn't always wear turquoise undies. Anyway, now we're going to start up these flying flivvers, two of them powered by a 37 horsepower Continental four-cylinder engine. The E2 Cub on the left and its successor, the J2 Cub, in the middle, both designed by E. Gilbert Taylor, 1932, 31, and 36 respectively. The one that just started, 1931, Curtis Wright Jr. A pusher design, Curtis going back to the pusher idea in 1931. That airplane would have originally been powered by a three-cylinder Ziegler engine. However, the Ziegler engines had a bad habit of blowing the cylinder heads off of the engine, which not only made the engine fail, but on a pusher would break the propeller as the cylinder flew back into it. So, the owner of this airplane, Brian Kaufman, has prudently replaced the Ziegler with a Continental proposed 4. So now our little flying flivvers are going to engage in what is probably the slowest airplane race you can imagine. Remember, we have airplanes that are flying behind 37 horsepower engines. Once around, a very inexpensive airplane to own and a very inexpensive airplane to fly in 1931. Little light airplanes can get in and out of the tiniest fields with relative ease, as long as you're not carrying a passenger. Oh, one little bounce, and a second little bouncy, and Ken is back. Now he has to find his shoes and pants, which are here on the guardrail fence. Oh yeah, that's right, we also have to get him back into his underwear. All right, Jake. Now, don't look now. Wow, that was fast. Katie Daly back on the ground in the J2 Cub. A little more streamlined, the cockpit is closed. Boy, Ken's got his pants on already. And Cliff's touching down in the Curtis Wright Jr. Here comes Janie with her bloomers. And skirt's gonna go on fast. And Ken wins the race. Fully clothed already. But you know, the consolation prize goes to Janie because she did meet her husband in the race. And there's Cliff. Last but not least. Did he win? Well, that's real promising. Yeah, that's right. Head for the ditch again, because we don't want that thing cluttering up the runway. Oh, now the rocket starts. Oh, same ending as before. Some people never learn. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's making a lot of noise. Yikes. He's still there. He's back. Nothing daunted. Jake is going to begin a design, I'm sure, for his magnum opus. And first to take off, just like earlier today, Dave King in his de Havilland Tiger Moth. A military and civilian training plane from 1930. Sports trainer. Great Lakes. Matt Ewer in another range-powered all different engines and performance characteristics into an echelon formation for you. It looks like they're forming up very nicely. So we've got the red de Havilland Tiger Moth, the white Fleet Model 1, and then 3 Great Lakes sport trainers in an echelon left formation. And now they peel off, get some separation to begin the balloon busting competition. Remember, we're all keeping the score together. See the first get a feeling for is Great Lakes, Warner-powered Great Lakes. Ranger-powered Great Lakes. Smoothly down on the main. Three originals, 130 points. Ryan Coughlin, Model 1, also a military. Brad Gould is his Great Lakes sport trainer with a Warner radial engine, and Cliff Daly in his replica Great Lakes with a Ranger engine. Goodbye. This concludes our Saturday History of Flight Air Show here at the greatest show off Earth.
Can you tell me what you love and what you hate about flying this airplane?
I love flying it when it's calm and it's not windy. I hate flying it when it's really windy and thermal.
How effective are those ailerons with that shifting action?
They're quite effective, but difficult to modulate, and not a natural response for a pilot. So you got to think about it, and if you're thinking about it, you're behind the airplane. So
how sensitive is the pitch control?
the pitch is the most sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah, very sure. Yeah. If you took video, you'll see me hunting around on the landing, and that's because it's very pitch sensitive.
Thank you. I really enjoyed watching you fly this today.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
American flag underwear?
My name's John.
Hi,
So
John.
I fly this many times. It's one of the most exciting airplanes here at Old Rhinebeck, in my opinion. It's quite exciting. What's your favorite thing about flying it? What's your not so favorite thing about flying it?
Like a power transfer.
It's very controllable. It really is. That's my favorite thing. The least favorite thing is on a windy day, especially if there's a crosswind, you really have to pay close attention because it has no brakes and it has a little shoe at the bottom of a tail skid that turns about 20 degrees either way, and it can get away from you.
It seems to be surprisingly maneuverable.
It is.
Is it a pretty maneuverable airplane?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you feel that torque from the Rotary as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the torque is most noticeable like when I'm on final approach with a speed of about 70, and then if I blip it to full power, the left wing will drop at least a foot.
Yeah. Wow.
But you just get used to it. It's just the way it is.
It's always exciting to see you fly. So thank you so much, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for flying this.
This is the 30th year that this thing's been flying.
Is that right? Wow.
I finished it in 1994.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting because you have the rotary engine on it too.
Yeah.
Man, that's always fun to see.
Yep.
I remember being here and the car alarms going off over here across the way when you start up.
Really?
Yeah. The car alarms would be set off by the noise of the engine.
I guess I'm always in it and I can't hear anything else. The loudest part about it is the poor person who has to pull this chock out when the engine's being run up, because this is where the exhaust valve opens. That's why there's this hole in the cowling. Every other cylinder as it goes by, the exhaust valve just starts to open. My finger can just feel this exhaust valve starting to open, and the exhaust valve is that big around. And this is the second one of these that I built. And the first one, it was all just solid cowling here, and Cole Palin was still alive, and he was not wanting to give advice, but he came right up to me and said, "Man, this is really great. What a beautiful job. I can't believe it." He had loaned me some parts to copy and so forth. So he said, "You got to cut a hole out to let the exhaust out, or it'll blow the cowling off." And I thought, it's brand new. I just finished the paint. I don't want to cut a hole in it. So later that day during the show, Cole grabbed the microphone and was actually interviewing me on the runway. And he said, "Okay, you want to start it up?" We started it up and the cowling blew off. So he didn't give a lot of advice, but when he did give advice, you really should listen.
I remember I have an old video of him running up the Jenny with the OX5, and he's out there talking with someone else, and he's holding his hands over each exhaust, checking on how much exhaust was coming out of the pipe, I guess.
Yeah.
He was quite a guy. Yeah.
He was known to check if the magneto was failing by pulling the spark plug lead off and holding it in his hand and turning the propeller on. And if you've ever been sparked by a magneto, you know what's going on. He was a tough guy.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with me. Yeah,
welcome.
And I'll continue to enjoy your airplane here.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thanks.
Black Baron, go on, go peddle your papers. And the first to ascend into the atmosphere is Dynamite Dave King in his 1934 de Havilland Tigermoth. In the Great Lakes Sport Trainer from 1931. What a great son of that Great Lakes sports bank. This happens to be a National Army team that was built. They built more than 8,800 tiger moths in 25 countries, well, usually 25 countries around the world. There's still many, many airplanes flying today. The tiger moth was kind of considered the Piper Cub of the British Empire. Golden Age biplane. To this wedding. Invitation or not, he's showing up. He's got a flag. His henchman has a flag. It must be a signal flag of some kind. And the Baron's got something in his hand. Oh, look to your right. It's a German Fokker D7 fighter taking off right through the middle of our wedding. Watching the airplane, of course, because he's a flyer. If he flies, he's got to keep an eye on it. Come on, guys, get your act together. Get this wedding over with so we can get on with our show. Dropping in over the trees, lining up on the runway. And a beautiful landing in the Fokker D7. This airplane is painted in the markings. Pilot Ken Cass, 1918 Fokker D7, powered with an original 200 horsepower Mercedes 6-cylinder engine. Guy in his 1917 Spad 7. Search of Trudy Truelove and or the Black Baron. One of the Baron's henchmen is down here on the ground with a machine gun. That's Crazy Fritz. Crazy Fritz is a little bit nearsighted, so he seldom hits anything. But that never stops him. He basically shoots at anything that flies over there. Discovered that if you cut the throttle or your engine failed, it had the gliding angle of a brick. Wait, I see movement. I think Percy actually caught her. He did! There she is! Trudy Trullo waving from the arms of her mother, Sir Percy Goodfellow. Talk about the hero of the day. Wow, what a catch! How slowly this airplane can fly, because it was designed as a training plane. It was designed to be easy to fly so that new pilots could learn in relative safety. And here comes down along the fence line. Hooray for Sir Percy, the hero of the day. Trudy seems none the worse for wear for her adventure. It's equivalent to about $7,000 today. So imagine buying a brand new airplane for $7,000. What a deal. And that's what got the whole barnstorming industry started. Ex-military pilots. Initials were NC, so naturally they were called Nancy's. The Curtiss NC-4 was the first airplane to fly across the Atlantic Ocean from America to the Azore Islands off the coast of the propeller. The engine spins with it. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind you can't do with a spinning engine. You solve the cooling problem, but how do you get fuel and air into it? You can't put a carburetor on a spinning engine. The pilot has to control the fuel and air mixture himself. You also can't put a muffler on a spinning engine. This is the loudest engine on our field. And it also only has a one-way oil system. You can pump oil into the engine, but you can't recover it. So let's see and hear. So because this engine has no throttle, the pilot controls his speed by using the ignition. He has a selector switch that allows the spark plugs to fire on every other revolution, as it's a 4-cycle engine, or on every 4th revolution, or on every 8th revolution, or on every 16th revolution. So it gives him half power, 1/4 power, or 1/8 power. So when it's just going pop, 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 that's 1/8 power. He also has a coupe button on the stick that cuts off the ignition entirely. And because that 800-pound engine is still spinning and will continue to spin for a while, all he has to do is take his thumb off the button and the engine picks right up again. Okay, full power run up. Sounded pretty good. Here Brian selecting the ignition settings. But once again, a buttery smooth landing. A cloud of white smoke also very stiff, so it resists being thrown off the engine a little bit longer. But it is thrown out all over the belly of the airplane when it's in flight. It's got a bomb! Hello, knock knock. Oh, he plopped that bomb right in the car with Percy. Percy, get rid of that bomb. It's going to explode any minute. Oh, it did. Percy's been bowled over by that exploding bomb, and the Baron has kidnapped Trudy once again. Grab her, Percy. Hang on. Oh, no. The Baron got away with her again. What do we say to that, folks? You scoundrel! You despicable man, you! And next into the air, Brian Coughlin in a Fleet Model 1. Daily in the Great Lakes Sport Trainer. And another Great Lakes flown by Brad Gould. This one powered by the 100. Dave King and his Tiger Moth. And coming down the field, but he's got Trudy running along behind, lugging what looks like a picnic basket. He won't even let her ride in the car. Those henchmen aren't getting a ride. Oh, what a scoundrel. So we've got a bombing squadron forming up. One thing to note about these airplanes, generally when you ground, I wonder if that's some kind of a signal considering that it's pink and white. Here come the bombers forming into a Vic formation, a V formation. Look at that. Talk about precision. No two airplanes the same. See, it'll be an angled formation down one side. Uh-oh. Baron's got some old beer barrels now. Think he's going to try to get Trudy drunk? I don't know. Uh-oh, I think the bombers have seen Trudy's signal because they're peeling off from their formation. Bombers have seen Trudy's signal, but they're peeling off from their formation. In the meantime, folks, we have one of our airplanes that's having some engine issues, so we're going to have an emergency landing here, so just stand by. Okay, the Great Lakes looks like he's on a landing approach. Well, I think one of our planes landed off the field. So our bombers are, some of them are going out to see what's going on. So just stand by, folks. Okay, here comes. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, while we sort things out. Again, there are no radios, so our pilots probably have a better idea of what's going on. Going to stand by. We will try to finish the show if possible after we get things settled here.